experience, but kind of sweep under the rug. Intimate dreams. You know the ones. You wake up, maybe you're a little confused, surprised, or, let's be honest, kind of embarrassed. But instead of just writing them off as random brain glitches, we're going to look at this impartially through a totally different lens. We're diving into ancient astrological and spiritual texts to see exactly how these traditions decode the hidden messages in our most secretive, late-night dreams.
I mean, be honest. Have you ever had an intimate dream about someone and found it literally impossible to shake off the next day? It's wild, right? That vivid image just replays in your head. Well, while it feels confusing to us, ancient scriptural texts suggest there's actually no confusion at all. They believe these dreams carry very specific, decoded messages about your life, your spiritual state, and even your future.
To actually decode these messages, we're looking at the Swapna Shastra. According to these ancient Indian scriptures, your brain isn't just misfiring in the dark. The Swapna Shastra is basically this massive, comprehensive guide that categorizes dreams and assigns them deep spiritual and astrological meanings. It's like a highly structured framework for deciphering whatever the universe or your subconscious is trying to tell you while you snooze. So here's our game plan for today. We'll cover Dream Shastra and secrets, known faces, unknown faces and negative energy, spouses and ex-lovers, and finally, dream timing and remedies.
Moving right along to Section 1, known faces, good or bad, decoding familiar faces in intimate dreams.
Okay, so think about dreaming of someone you actually know. What's absolutely fascinating here is that your current relationship status flips the meaning entirely. If you're unmarried and you have an intimate dream about a familiar face, the Swapna Shastra says, hey, that's highly auspicious. It actually signals that marriage is on the horizon. But if you're already married, the meaning shifts completely. For married folks, it signifies the arrival of goddess Lakshmi. In this tradition, that points straight to an upcoming wave of wealth and financial prosperity hitting your household. Not a bad deal, right? But wait, because there is a very specific and, honestly, kind of chilling exception. If a newlywed woman has these intimate dreams about known faces, it is not about wealth. The Shastra issues a pretty serious warning here. It could actually indicate that negative entities or dark energies were attracted to her during the wedding ceremonies. This part really shows you the intensity of these ancient beliefs. The text explicitly states that during the sacred fire rituals of the wedding, these negative spirits can actually bind themselves to the bride, and they end up acting almost like an invisible husband. According to the Shastra, that unseen energetic attachment is the actual root cause of these specific intimate dreams for newly married women. Let's jump into Section 2, unknown faces and negative energy. The mystery stranger. So what happens if the face in the dream is a total stranger? You have zero idea who they are. Well, the Swapna Shastra is super clear on this one. Unknown faces are definitely an inauspicious sign. If you're having an intimate dream with someone you literally don't recognize, the texts flag this as a warning of impending problems coming your way, or a sign that there's a growing aura of negative energy around you that you need to deal with before it spills over into your waking life. Moving on to Section 3, spouses and ex-lovers, current and past flames. Let's see how this plays out in what's probably the most emotionally loaded category, dreaming of your current spouse. If it's your husband or wife popping up in the dream, the texts actually offer two completely contrasting takes. On one hand, it could just mean you have a flourishing, super happy, successful marriage. Boom, great. But on the other hand, it can act as a subconscious red flag. It might signal unfulfilled desires or unmet expectations from your partner. It kind of forces you to step back and ask, are we completely dialed in, or am I secretly craving more from this connection? And if an ex randomly crashes your dream, look, we've all been there. The text breaks this down into three distinct possibilities. First, it might just be acknowledging that your bond with that person was incredibly strong back in the day. Second, and this one's a bit heavier, it could suggest you're struggling to love your current partner quite as deeply as you loved that ex. And third, very much like the spouse dream, it can simply point to the fact that your current emotional or physical needs just aren't being met right now, so your brain is wandering back to familiar territory. All right, on to Section 4, dream timing and remedies, lunar phases and solutions. Now here is where it gets really interesting. It's not just about who is in the dream, the when is absolutely crucial. The lunar cycle is a massive player here. Dreams that happen during the Shukla Paksha, that's the waxing phase of the moon, usually feature known faces and are treated as good omens. On the flip side, dreams during the Krishna Paksha, the waning moon phase, tend to bring those unknown faces. And as we discussed, those are categorized as bad omens or serious warnings of negativity. Because the texts classify these waning moon, Krishna Paksha dreams as heavy negative influences,
They don't just drop the bad news and leave you hanging. If you're being plagued by these particular dreams, the scriptures actually offer a highly specific physical ritual to protect yourself and basically neutralize that bad energy.
The Shastra lays out a literal 4-step remedy. Step 1, take a fresh roti, flatbread. Step 2, rub mustard oil right onto that roti. Step 3, when you go to bed, you need to sleep with some barley called jiao placed right near your pillow. And step 4, the very next morning, you take that oil-soaked roti and feed it to a dog. I know, it sounds incredibly specific, right? But the ancient texts claim that by following this precise routine, you can successfully block out those negative nighttime vibes and get your spiritual balance back on track. So at the end of the day, these ancient texts from the Swapna Shastra are really just inviting us to look a little closer at the things we usually ignore. They're asking us to consider what deeper realities, what hidden desires, or even what spiritual warnings might be lurking right below the surface of our wildest dreams. It definitely gives us a lot to think about the next time our head hits the pillow. Seriously, what hidden truths is your subconscious going to try and reveal to you tonight?